Disney World is a place where magic happens for everyone, but if you have some specific needs, whether it's due to allergies, mobility, or anything else, planning ahead is the key. Fortunately for us, Disney has made several strides when it comes to accommodating their guests, so let's break it down what you need to know right here. A little preparation is gonna go a long day in Disney World. If you plan ahead, you can actually maximize your time spent in the parks and minimize your stress, which is gonna be huge.
You can start by reviewing wait times and making advanced dining reservations over in the My Disney Experience app. This app is going to be a major tool because it helps you check for any ride limitations that you might experience or need to be aware of. It helps you check for dietary restrictions, and it also can kind of give you an idea of what your day is going to look like while you're in the parks. It also is going to help you verify your allergens if you're looking for anything specific when it comes to your dietary needs.
For guests with limited mobility or maybe you need some special assistance, don't worry. Disney actually offers something called the Disability Access Service called DAS. It's a valuable program that's going to help reduce the physical strain of waiting in those long lines.
The DAS system is going to help you select your time so that way instead of waiting in a traditional queue, you're able to wait outside of the queue. You're still going to wait the normal amount of time that you would for a ride. However, it's going to be a little bit more accessible and comfortable to those who might need it. There is a process when it comes to registering for the DAS system, so you can always check out My Disney Experience app, or you can head to the Walt Disney World website to get the full details on how to sign up and what it's going to look like to see if you're approved or not for that system. It has recently undergone a change, so definitely make sure you're reading back and understanding what the new system looks like right now. If someone in your party is going to need a little bit of an extra support, you can actually rent an ECV or wheelchairs while you're in the parks. These two things are available throughout the 4 parks, and they can make a huge difference when it comes to your Disney day. Having these available makes sure that you can travel with ease. Even if it's an unexpected need, you can grab it while you're in the park throughout the day. If you're staying at a Disney resort, guests can actually find a variety of different things that are going to help make their stay a little bit more accessible and comfortable while you're there. Disney actually offers some really neat things in the room. For example, there are wheelchair accessible rooms as well as hearing accessible rooms. For example, there are roll-in showers, and they actually have visual alarm clocks, which is really neat. TTY equipment is actually also available upon check-in if that's something that you might need or are familiar with. Disney also ensures that all of the pathways to key areas within the resort are accessible. So for example, the main dining areas, the pool, fitness center, arcade, laundromats, those kind of things, those main pathways are pretty accessible for everyone. And if you're in Disney World for an event and you're attending something like a business conference, which actually happens a lot in Disney World, they make sure that the convention centers have all smooth, even flooring, so that way everyone can get around a little bit more easily. Buses, monorail, and the Skyliner are also built to make sure that they are completely accessible and wheelchair friendly. They also have designated boarding areas, so that way it's a little bit easier for you and your party to get on those different modes of transportation. Just talk with cast members if you have any assistance needs and take you to the right spot that you need to be in. Disney actually strives to ensure that all guests can board attractions comfortably. Since each ride has different boarding requirements, it's probably best to speak with a cast member at the attraction to discuss available options and any individual need. Depending on the attractions, guests may have to access a dedicated load and unload area, which is designed for guests with disabilities. There is wheelchair access vehicles, which allows guests to remain in their wheelchair while experiencing the ride. There's transfer access vehicles, which includes features like a folding bolster seat or a door with a swinging threshold, so that way people can get in and out easier. And there are transfer devices that help guests move from their wheelchair to the ride with a seat safely. For a full list of attractions and their available accessibility options, you can actually visit disneyworld.disney.go.com/guest-services/mobility. Disney offers a variety of programs when it comes to helping guests actually make the lines and the queues a little bit more accessible, so that way everybody can kind of get in on the fun and the magic of it all. Guests with specific needs actually are going to have some flexible options when it comes to waiting in the queues. You can actually exit the queue while the rest of your party continues to wait, and then re-enter once they're about to actually board the ride. If you're not necessarily wanting to get in the line at all, you can try to wait outside of the queue and then join your party once they're about to board, but again, double check with a cast member before you make that choice. The reason we encourage you to double ask is because every single attraction is different, especially when it comes to layouts and getting on the ride. Some queues it's a little bit more difficult to get on right before boarding, and others is a little bit more easy. Each attraction does have a dedicated process to help with this step, so that's why we highly encourage you to ask. Another great option when it comes to waiting in lines while you're in Disney World is doing something called rider switch or rider swap. Rider switch actually allows guests to experience the ride in different groups without having to wait in the line twice, which is a huge thing. This is also a major tip for parents in particular. One part of your group can actually wait outside of the queue while everyone else waits inside, and they go on the attraction, and then you go back and you swap, and you get to go ahead and hop on the attraction right then and there instead of having to wait twice. To use this service, you actually do have to go with your entire group, everyone, to the queue and ask a cast member about the system, and they can kind of get you taken care of. Now, this accommodation is not available at all rides, so if you are turned away, just take what the cast member says and be respectful and just be okay with it, because it's not for every single attraction, but it can be a major help when it comes to being in Disney World, and especially if you have kids or if you can't wait in the queue for whatever reason, this is a great way to swap. And that way you're waiting your allotted time, you're also still waiting, you're not getting to skip anyone for free, but you are, it's a little bit more accessible and it's a little bit more easy for everyone in your entire group. When it comes to rider comfort considerations, there's actually a lot of things that people might not be thinking about. For example, are you curious about how the ride is going to fit you and your body, and what is it going to be like when you're riding it? No worries. Disney actually has test seats, so if it's something you're concerned about, you can kind of go test out the system and see what it's going to look like. There are 2 attractions that offer this. The first is Avatar Flight of Passage over in Animal Kingdom, and the second is Tron Light Cycle Run. So if you have any concerns about ride restraints or what it's going to feel like or be like throughout the attraction experience, you can go test out those 2 attractions.
For guests with any food allergies or maybe some dietary restrictions, Disney has a plethora of options all around the theme parks.
From gluten-free to dairy-free to nut-free or even vegan options, Disney has tons of different alternatives when it comes to dining at the parks, and they are at the different restaurants as well. To plan ahead, you can actually look at the allergen menus on the My Disney Experience app, which is a really nice way for you to be able to kind of plan your trip and not feel like you're wasting a bunch of time seeing where you can or cannot eat. And it's a great way to just plan and get an idea of what you're going to experience before you get to the parks. It's going to allow you to have the safest choices for you and your dining needs and your group, but if for some reason you can't do that, you can always go to a cast member and talk with them, and they should have allergen specific menus at each dining option. When it comes to table service dining specifically, you can actually sometimes talk to the chef if that's something that you're really concerned about. They can guide you through your choices and even offer suggestions, so that way you can still get a really tasty meal that does accommodate your allergies and your needs. Now, if you do have pretty complex dietary needs, Disney actually does offer some additional services, which is kind of neat. If you have multiple allergies or medical condition like diabetes or PKU, you can actually reach out to special.diets at disneyworld.com after booking your dining arrangements no more than 14 days prior to your visit, and you can get some special assistance. It's actually recommended that you list your allergies and intolerances in your dining reservation. The My Disney Experience app actually has a section where you can list your dietary needs or concerns when you're booking your reservation. This allows for the cast members to make special accommodations or preparations for you and your party before you even get to the restaurant, which is going to be a big win for them and for you. Now, if you rely on medications, this is actually something you're going to need to keep with you and bring with you into the parks. Disney does allow you to bring things like EpiPens or special medication, whatever you need to get through your park day and kind of ensure some peace of mind. In case of emergencies, there are first aid stations throughout all of the parks, and they are a huge help. Even just getting over-the-counter medication can be a great option when it comes to your Disney day. They even have EpiPens available, which is really neat, but we do still recommend bringing yours. It's much more comforting to know you have yours with you rather than relying on first aid, which, although is in all 4 parks, might be a little bit far from you in case of an emergency.
Disney's first aid locations offer more than just a place to stop by when you have a few minor cuts and scrapes. Disney's first aid actually offers a really quiet, cool place to kind of get out of the heat and get out of the crowds, where you can find trained nurses, and they can even sometimes store your medication for you if it needs to be in a temperature controlled situation.
If you're expecting, you can still have a very magical time at Disney World. Now, maybe the thrill rides are off limits, but there's still a lot more options that you might not know about. You can actually check out My Disney Experience app, which apparently is a huge tool and I think is no surprise, and you can find any pregnancy accommodating attractions. We do recommend to stick to slow-moving rides, shows, interactive experiences, and anything that is going to kind of be a little bit more relaxing on your Disney vacation. And of course, just like everyone else, you need to rest and hydrate. Take breaks. That's for everyone, not just expectant mothers or people who might need extra help. Everyone should take breaks. and hydrate. If you're traveling with infants or toddlers, the baby care centers are a must. Typically, they are right next door to the first aid center, and they are going to have so many things that might help you on your Disney vacation. They offer changing tables, nursing rooms, and just a more quiet, comfortable environment if you or your kiddo needs to get out of the heat and the crowds. It's a great place to tend to your little one's needs and really make sure that everybody is not getting sunburned. In case you need any diapers or anything additional to help you take care of your kiddo or your toddler, they do often sell things like that in the baby care center as well. However, it's a little bit more expensive and maybe not the brand you want to use. So try to bring everything that you are going to need with you, but in case of emergencies, you can always go over there and ask and see what they have on hand. For guests who might have sensory sensitivities, Disney World can be very overwhelming. That is no secret at all. Thankfully, there is a sensory experience guide that you can get before you go to the parks. It's divided into 11 sections, specifically the parks and Disney Springs, and it offers information on quieter areas that you can find throughout the park. You can access this guide online. It's pretty straightforward and we highly recommend it because it just is a great thing to have in mind well before you get on your vacation. A lot of Disney World is pre-planning. That's how it's so magical when you get there, is you already kind of know what's going to happen and how to handle different experiences that maybe are not so magical but do come with the territory of the Disney vacation. Guests with disabilities are also allowed to bring their service animals to Disney World, which is really cool. Service animals are permitted, sometimes even on rides. However, it's going to vary based on attraction, if they can get on the attraction with you or if they are actually required to wait before you are off the attraction. Sometimes they actually require that your service animal stay with a person who is not riding the attraction, so someone in your party who's not going to go with you on that ride. But then sometimes they actually do offer portable kennels if you're comfortable with your service animal staying in there. Each park also has a designated relief area for your little pals, and it's one of those things that once you notice it, you'll never be able to not notice them. There's actually quite a few of them scattered throughout the parks, so that way they can relieve themselves, because we should all be doing that. Disney World offers a range of services to assist guests who are blind or have low vision. At the theme parks, guests can actually acquire Disney handheld devices that provide audio descriptions for select attractions and entertainment, as well as Braille guidebooks and portable tactile maps. All of these are available through guest relations. Additionally, stationary Braille maps can actually be found throughout the parks, Disney Springs, and the ESPN Wild World of Sports complex, helping people navigate a little bit more easily. Florida heat can be intense, and staying cool is essential for everyone, especially guests with medical conditions, young children, or those sensitive to heat. Mist stations, indoor attractions, and shaded seating areas are major lifesavers on hot days. And don't forget to hydrate. Disney actually provides free cups of water at quick service locations, so you need to make sure you're taking advantage of that. Bringing your own snacks is a game changer when it comes to being in Disney World for anyone, actually. Disney allows you to bring your own food and drinks into the parks, but there are some stipulations. Bringing your outside food into the Disney parks is going to be so helpful for anyone with dietary restrictions that are on a super strict diet or can only have really specific items. It's also good for anyone looking to save some time and money. Whether it's a protein bar, fresh fruit, or even just your favorite to-go snack, having your own food on hand is actually something that's going to make sure that you can absolutely guarantee you're going to have food that fits your needs while you're on your Disney vacation. At Disney, it is really easy to feel like you need to go the entire time you're there, but honestly, taking breaks is just as important as hitting everything on your to-do list. The magic is all around you, so soak it in at your own pace. There's a lot of really magical things that you can find in those quiet moments as you're just kind of sitting, chilling, and taking a break. Some of my favorite times at Disney were when I was really just hanging out with an ice cold drink and watching the world around me. It can be really, really magical, so just kind of take in every aspect of Disney World. You don't have to be go-go all the time to really have a nice magical experience. Disney World truly is going above and beyond to make sure that the magic is available to everyone. Now, that's not to say it's perfect. There still might be some issues when you're on your Disney trip. However, there are several different ways that Disney aims to accommodate everyone. Whether you need mobility assistance, allergy-friendly guides, sensory guides, or anything in between, there are actually countless resources that can help accommodate you when you're planning your Disney World trip. With the right tools, you can actually focus on what matters, and that's just making really nice, fun memories with you and everyone else in your party.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you're here. Make sure to comment this secret code and go ahead and give us a like. If you found this helpful, we even have more videos all about Disney allergies, so you can go check them out, and make sure you subscribe so that way you can see all our new stuff too. Bye!